Hey everybody, I'm Tika.
And I'm Gregory.
And this is Getting to Know Marriage. So, welcome back to our show. We appreciate you guys tuning in last week and any other time that you've tuned in to watch us.
It's a new day.
So, tonight we're going to be talking about the importance of affection. Why affection? Why affection in a relationship? What's the importance of it? I know there are people who have different views of affection, specifically public display of affection or PDA. And some people feel like it's no big deal. You know, you have a lot of people that feel like, well, if you know who you're with, what difference does it make? You know, that's for your private moments. But then there are some people who want everybody to know, you know, so the importance of affection. I guess for me, I would say that, okay, so there's two sides to affection. There's giving affection, there's receiving affection. So on the receiving end, I'll start with that because sometimes I guess that's the easier. On the receiving end, of course, for myself personally, affection just reminds you that you are important. It reminds you that a person is thinking about you even at that very moment. You may know that a person loves you or that a person has feelings for you or that you're in a solid relationship, that you're secure, but any type of random display of affection, so a kiss, a hug, you know, just putting their arm around you, holding your hand, whatever it is, kind of gives you that, it gives me that instant reminder, like, you know what, even in this moment, this person is thinking about you, you know. And then on the other side of that, so before I move on, so understanding that in random moments my husband is thinking about me, it makes me appreciate our relationship, number one. Number two, it makes me understand in private as well as in public, if anything happens, that I'm not alone. And not even just literally, but I mean in every sense. When I have random display of affection publicly, privately, from my husband, it kind of just gives me that sense of I'm not in this by myself.
That's right.
So on the giving side, on the giving side for me, and then you can share your thoughts, but on the giving side of it for me, kind of the same thing, you know, because I am a person who enjoys, you know, the affection and I appreciate it and I notice it. I try to make it a point to show that in exchange, or as well, because I know how it makes me feel. And I definitely want my husband to always feel like just because we've been together, no matter how long it's been, or just because we've had an off day, I always want him to be reminded that this is my choice. And no matter who's around, I'm gonna act on my thoughts and my feelings for him, especially when they're positive, because we don't have a problem snapping when there's something wrong going on. You know what I mean? We don't have a problem addressing something in public if you have an attitude about it or if it catches you off guard.
No, I don't snap. I don't snap. She snap. She go, rah! Real quick. Nah, just playing.
So yeah, so to me, that's why it's important. What are your thoughts? How does it make you feel? How do you, you know, feel about offering affection?
I like affection. You know, I like giving affection. I'm a touchy-feely person. So that's how I like to receive it. You know, and touching is, to me, that just skin to skin is just something that is just something about it. I can't even explain it. And like she said, you know, public display of affection, I love that too, because other people get to see the passion that you two have for each other. And it's a constant reminder. Mm-hmm. It's a constant reminder that I love you. And you know what I'm saying, when you do it to me, it's a reminder that I know you love me. Sure. You know, because that's my language. Mm-hmm. So you have to make sure that you're compatible with someone that either share that same language or understand your language.
Absolutely.
It's a good thing for the two of us that we share the same language. Mm-hmm. So it just comes natural. It's not one that we would have to work on, but it's not to say it isn't worth it.
Sure.
But we love to be affectionate to each other day in and day out. We sit down, I could be watching TV. I might be getting bored. Say, boo, come here. I'm bored. You know what I mean? I shouldn't even be bored in the house. And when I do,
right.
when one of the times that I am, I can make love to my boo. You know, that's my time to be intimate.
Mm-hmm.
Make good use of my time and yours too.
And I feel like, especially in this holiday season, it definitely, so that's where it starts with you and your spouse. That's where the love, that's where you feel it initially. That's where you notice it initially. And of course, in private times, that's where it matters most. When you're out in the public, the importance of displaying affection in the public, in my opinion, especially in this holiday season, and just this year, period. I mean, everything else that we've been through, you know, with everything that's going on, we have had a number of people tell us, being around us, watching us, you know, seeing how touchy-feely we are with each other is kind of contagious. And It makes them that way with their spouse. So in this season of, you know, the holidays, with all the illnesses, with all the deaths, I mean, just living everyday, period, it's almost like, what more can you offer than to show love? And we're talking about showing affection because this is getting to know marriage. But think about it. Think about how you feel if you're out in the mall and you see, you know, a man hugging his child, you know, or a woman kissing her, you know, mother, you know, just anything. And it's kind of like, oh, you feel that warm and fuzzy on the inside. So that's, to me, it's the same thing with public display of affection. And it reminds the universe of the very foundation of love. We have God, but after God's love, there was marriage. That was the first love that there was. So it's just a constant, in my opinion, it's just a constant reminder. When we sit with with my parents, or, you know, around other couples, for me, particularly older couples, and see them just being so affectionate, it honestly gives me something to look forward to.
It does. Especially when you know that they're affectionate too. And like my grandparents, they're in their 90s now, and they're still affectionate. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we have to look forward to.
Absolutely. And their affection change, you know, and how they display that affection. And we had conversation with his grandfather, but it's just such a beautiful thing to see, to watch, you know, and talking about his grandparents, because his grandmother is blind, his grandfather is going blind, and a little deaf. But at the end of the day, to watch them show affection in their own way, to be concerned about each other, to, you know, show their care, to check on each other, you know, to say something across the table or whatever it is, just that constant affection, no matter what mood you're in. You go home or you leave out the room and you just feel like, oh my goodness, I can't wait to, you know, we're going to be that one day. And again, you know, when we're around our children even and displaying affection, it kind of makes the room warm and fuzzy. So now they're laughing and having fun. They may not jump in and give a hug and a kiss to us too all the time, but it just opens up the atmosphere, in my opinion, for such a positive vibe, a positive light. When people are watching, you know, a public display of affection. And then you have people on the other side of that, because we're talking about the positives of it, but what it can do if you're not showing affection, you know, and the messages that can be sent unintentionally in the public specifically.
Yeah, you're not on the same page out in public, and one show affection to the other, and they don't receive it well, then that could be a problem. You know, that is what you're referring to, right? Right. Okay.
And the other thing also, like, what about, you know, how we are when we see each other, whether we're greeting each other, whether we're leaving each other, we greet each other with a kiss. You know, we always say something to each other, I'll see you in a minute, or whatever the case may be. But specifically talking about public display of affection, even if, I mean, really for us, it doesn't matter where we are. If he's in the barbershop, if I'm at the nail salon, whatever's going on, that's just the way we greet each other. But imagine being in a marriage where And I hope this is not where you are. And if you are, in all seriousness, we are here and talking about these things so that hopefully you can grow. But imagine coming home or coming to a public place, a park, and you see your spouse, right? And there's no hug, no kiss. It's kind of just like, and one of the things that you said to one of the couples that we were talking to is, that's generally, you notice that a couple is a couple because they're being affectionate, right? So either they're close to each other, or they talk to each other and are eye to eye all the time, or they're, there's a lot of whispering in the ear, or they're cuddled up. But otherwise, you wouldn't know if it was their sister, their mom, their co-worker. But there has to be some display of affection to stand out as a couple, I would imagine. Mm-hmm. Would you agree with that, or?
Yeah. That's that. That is one thing that it is very obvious for people that's in love. Mm-hmm. When you see them out and about, like she said, your body language says a lot. Mm-hmm. What you're doing, how close you are, whether you walking beside them, whether you walking in front of them, whether your hand is on the upper back, around the shoulders, around the waist, a lot of that speaks.
Right. It speaks volume. And I know me personally, I don't want to be the person that is married but feels like I'm single. And a lot of times it's probably women that speak on it more. But as a man, how would you feel if, I don't know, we were at a function or an event and you came in, after me and everything's going on and I don't even acknowledge you, and not just acknowledge you like, hey, Greg, but acknowledge you like you're my husband. Or would it matter?
Yeah, you have a problem.
So ladies, it's not just us. Maybe they don't talk about it. Right. But at the end of the day, nobody wants to feel like a sidekick when you have invested so much into a relationship. And what is there to hide? Why not affection? A lot of times we put so much energy into why do this? Why or whatever, just going against the grain. I'll say we put a lot of energy into going against the grain, but at the same time, I just feel like what negative could come out of showing affection to your spouse? What negative could you pass off to the next person by being affectionate with your spouse? What negative could you offer to anybody by displaying affection publicly? As a matter of fact, it just reminds us of who we are to one another, how important we should be to one another, and how important it is for others to be able to see an example of true love in marriages. I would even go as far as saying some people don't want to be married because of the lack of display of affection sometimes, because it's almost like people, not everybody, but some people have this thought that you get married and that's it. It's not like it used to be. It's not like dating anymore. It's no more touchy-feely, no more sex, no more fun, giggle. It's like you're married now and everybody's got to straighten up and fly right,
Right. Like once you get married, no more sex.
Yeah.
That type of deal.
And then you meet somebody, you date them, and it's like, okay, so we on our first date, we had an absolute public tongue session, right? But that was us dating. But what is the problem with doing that with your wife as well? I mean, that is your wife, right? You're my husband. So what would make it comfortable, or what would make it right when we're dating, but wrong once we get married? You know what I mean? What would make people feel that way? And I just feel like if people were able to see that in its truest form, in its most genuine form, it would be more of an attraction than, I guess, a turnoff, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Well, know your partner's love language. If you don't know what the love language is, check it out, look it up. Ours is touchy-feely, and one of my other love languages is what do you call it?
Acts of service.
Acts of service, right. Some people their acts of service express their love for you. But know that, learn that. That's my words of encouragement for today.
Absolutely. Again, as always, we appreciate you guys watching. Leave us your feedback. Comment below. Let us know what you think about PDA. Let us know what you think about your husband or your wife being touchy-feely in public, or how you feel about that. If you're embarrassed, if you're okay with it, let us know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe this video if you do not mind. If there's a topic that you would like to see us talk about or like to hear about, you can also leave that information. We are here on YouTube. We are on Facebook. We are on Instagram. You can also email us at gettingtoknowmarriage.com. If you are currently in a marriage and you need a marriage therapist, you can also give us a call, area code 980-236-1868. We do marriage counseling, and we are able to do that through Zoom. So no matter where you are, why don't you give us a try? I think that you'll be happy.
Yes, yes.
So I'm Tika.
And I'm Gregory.
And this is Getting to Know Marriage. We appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.